Hi, I'm Troy Schuyler. I'm a principal broker with Century 21 in Roseburg, Oregon. You know, probably one of the most common questions I get is it a good time to buy a house? Well, buyers are curious, they want to know, when should I buy a house if I want to get serious about a place to live? Before I answer that, and I look forward to doing that for you here today, I want you to understand there are actually two ways to answer that question depending on why you're buying. Are you buying the house to live in, or are you buying it as a real estate investment? You see, the best time for a real estate investor to buy might be completely different than it is for somebody who's looking to raise their family. The average home buyer, they say, live in a house between 5 and 7 years. So the myth that we've been spoon-fed over the years that your house is the biggest investment you're ever going to make is only partly true. You see, I don't like to advise my buyers to look at their house as an investment unless they're a real estate investor, where you're looking at the cap rate and you're looking at the return and the vacancy rates and all those different things that go along with real estate investing. My mentor once told me years ago, when I asked him, how do you answer that question when somebody asks you, when's a good time to buy a house, instead of just saying, like every other real estate broker in the world, now's the time to go buy it because I want your commission. He told me the best time for a home buyer to buy a house that's looking to live in the house is when they need a house. Think about it. When you had your third child and you no longer fit in that fancy two-seater car, did you wait for the bottom of the minivan market to come around before you went out and bought a minivan? No, you didn't do that. You bought a minivan. It's the same thing when you're buying a house. If you just had your third or fourth child and you need another bedroom, you need another bathroom, you're downsizing, whatever the case may be, now is the time to buy a house for you. Assuming that you're secure in your income, you're secure in your financing, you feel like your job situation is solid. So for you, looking at your house as being an investment, I think is just a big error. And when you do that, you miss the point. The point is, when you're buying a house to live in, you're buying a place to look out the back window and see the kids playing in the backyard. You're buying a place to gather around the fireplace and play games with the kids and etch their growth chart into the doorpost going into the kitchen, that kind of thing. The touchy-feelies of homeownership. If you're an investor and you're looking to try to gauge the time of if it's the right time to buy investment property, I'd invite you to look at my website and view the video or read the article there that I prepared on home investing. It's roseburghomesforsale.com. But getting back to you, addressing you as a home buyer, instead of looking at what the media tells us, and they tell us one day to buy now, and the next day they're telling us to wait, and they did the same thing, if you remember, a few years back, when they were telling us to wait for the top of the market before you sell. We have 20 years of continued growth and boom time in America, and we all know that they were wrong. That did not happen, in my area anyway. July of 2005 was our peak market, and since then we were coming down, and if you listen to the media at that time, you were one of the sorry people that missed that peak of the market, and you were unfortunate to have to sell lower than what you could have if you would have sold in that 2005 market. My point being is, not the best economist, not the best real estate broker, not the best analyst can pinpoint when the bottom or the top of any given market is, whether it's stocks or real estate or you name it. So with that, what we like to do, instead of gauging where the bottom is, although we do feel like we have to be pretty close to it, you always have a good feeling of where you're at in any given market, is the same as my advice was to sellers in 2005. Is it a good time to sell? I would tell them the same thing I would tell you. Are you happy with the price you would get today? Okay? And as a buyer, I would ask you the same question. Are rates satisfactory to you? Are you happy paying 4.5%, 5.5% interest on your 30-year fixed mortgage? Well, if you are, there's a good thing for you. Are you happy, Mr. Buyer, Mrs. Buyer, with the condition of the housing market as far as prices go? Do you feel like it's a fair price on the house that you may be looking at? Well, compared to 2005, we know that our 2011 market now is even prior to 2005 prices. We're clear back to late 2001, 2002 prices. So prices, yeah, I would say the prices are pretty good, you know, for you looking at and considering buying. So knowing what we know now, prices are low, interest rates are low. FHA has great programs for you first-time buyers. Even for you scaling back into a smaller home, there's all kinds of loan programs out there for you guys right now with good credit. So good interest, good prices, good loan programs. My advice to you is if you have a legitimate reason to buy and you desire to feel the benefits and experience the excitement of home ownership, I'd say now you're probably never going to see as good of time to buy a house that you have right now. So visit my website, visit my blog, roseburghomesforsale.com. Get some more information, and if you'd like, contact me from there. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks again for viewing.